What's going on, everybody? I'm Winston A. Marshall, aka the Swaggy Blurred, and this is my review for Joker Folie Deux. Now, if this is your first time here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I'm popping off with new content, and definitely throw a thumbs up on this video, man. Throw a little bit of love in there, and get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the film. Now, if you already saw my instant reaction, then you already know that I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. This is gonna be light spoilery. I'm not gonna give away like super crazy points, but spoilery enough that I'm gonna like talk about some stuff and then keep it pushing. So I liked the first Joker film. You know, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was blow your mind good, like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but I did think it was very good. It was definitely Oscar for Joaquin Phoenix good, that's for sure. And $1 billion good, I'll give it that too. It was clearly drawing in crowds. But, you know, obviously Todd Phillips talked about how Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy had all kind of been brought in there, as well as like a little bit of The Killing Joke, a little bit of The Dark Knight Returns. Like there's a lot of stuff that he was kind of pulling from to kind of write that script. But that's the problem, is if with the main focus being Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy and not being around anymore, it's like, okay, well, what is kind of guiding it this time? I know one of the things that was talked about with development is, you know, oh, you know, there's just something moving. We just got to tell another story with the character. And Todd Phillips had said in a few interviews that like he found it really interesting that, you know, proceedings like Depp versus Heard.
It's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is
you'd like it to be, sir. Nothing simple in this case.
Donald Trump's debates
in Springfield. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Or things like that had been treated as entertainment and not something serious. And so that was kind of the anchor that he went with for Joker Folie Deux, is the fact that this trial became entertainment for people. You keep hearing the term trial of the century. And if you think about all the other big trials that are like that, the O.J. Simpson trial, the Menendez brothers. Obviously, we didn't mention Depp and Heard. But I remember with OJ, and especially if you see Made in America, yeah, it was serious. But the fact that if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Cochran being at the front of it, and how OJ himself being the showman that he is, it felt like a joke at times. This almost felt like rewatching the OJ trial, to be honest with you. And so that part, I think, was kind of interesting. My problem with this film, personally, is just the idea that it felt like nothing really happened. That is the vibe I got. I noticed very quickly that about 50 minutes in, we're just getting strongly into Act 2 at that point, and I just didn't care. I really didn't. I think that, especially knowing we had evolved Arthur Fleck to the Joker by the time we got to the end of the first film, and it feels like that the Joker had just been shoved way back down in, and we had to rediscover the character all over again. And I don't know how I feel about that. It would literally be like if we went from Batman Begins, where all the training's happening and he kind of starts off as Batman, and by the end of the film, and he saved Katie Holmes and you know, stopped Ra's al Ghul and the Scarecrow, that when we got to the Dark Knight, we don't see Batman for 50 minutes. You might get a little sprinkling here and there, but we don't see Batman for 50 minutes. That would not fly. If you remember, you get that Joker, played by Heath Ledger, robbing a bank.
Whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
And then immediately after, we get, which is about a 10-minute scene, maybe. Great scene, by the way, but about 10 minutes. And then right after, we get Batman stopping Scarecrow.
What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
And we're right back into it. I know everybody talks about Heath Ledger's role in that movie, but it is a Batman film, right? Here we see him in Arkham and how he's starting to fall for Harley Quinn Lee, and how he's gonna go on trial and he's doing interviews and stuff, but we really don't kind of get Joker for a minute. You get him a little flashes of him in some of the musical numbers. I think the other thing that was kind of bothering me about the musical numbers, I don't necessarily think that we needed it. I get that you do it because the idea that it's kind of a part of his insanity. He's kind of imagining all this stuff up. I think some of them made a little more sense than others. So like the late night show that he does with Harley, I think that made a little bit more sense. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But the one thing that's always drilled into my head, you know, having trained in theater classically and all that kind of stuff, is that you only start singing because words just don't do it anymore. You can't express yourself through words. You gotta sing and you gotta dance and you just have to, you know what I'm saying? Or in this case, a fever dream. And you would allude to that, but it wouldn't always be earned to do that at the time. And so I think what throws it off is because you go, well, this is a good number. Like Joaquin Phoenix, you know, like playing Johnny Cash, clearly can sing and is very talented. He apparently knows how to tap dance too, which is incredible. And Lady Gaga is Lady Gaga, so the performances weren't bad. I just, at times I was just like, why? You know? And I don't like that. I already am not a fan of musicals, so I don't, if I can read it too much on its face that something's coming like that and it doesn't feel earned, it doesn't feel like a natural progression, it is off-putting. And that happened a number of times. But I think the other thing that kind of happened here, I know this was about a trial, but like the in-betweens just weren't, I couldn't, man. And I would honestly say, for me, by the time we got to Act 3, I was so kind of checked out. I was caught by surprise in how the trial ends, but it didn't have the same kind of gut punch the end of the first one, of the surprise, and then even how he deals with stuff. I read immediately what was going to happen to Arthur at the end of the movie. Once he got back to jail, I immediately knew what was going to happen. I could tell because of essentially the fervor he had whipped up and the people that had followed him to a T and that looked at him like an idol, like a god. I had a feeling, in the same way that Harley walks away, that there were going to be repercussions. There was one character in particular that I knew it was coming. I knew that he was going to attack him. So like I said, light spoilers. I just say all that to say, man, that like, if we didn't need the first one, but it worked well, I don't know about always doubling down. And maybe like this was just a story that Phillips and Silver really wanted to tell, of why have very important things like trials and debates and things like that, why have they become entertainment to us at this point, more so than the entertainment that we have, you know, been used to in sports and movies and TV shows. That's a whole other like dissertation or philosophy you got to go through. But either way, man, this one wasn't for me. I hope that people that saw it loved it. People had alluded that this was it had elements of, you know, One Bad Day, you know, the Joker tale, and I saw that, but I don't think it added up quite the same. So if I had to rate it, man, I'm realistically giving it like a 2 out of 5. It's just, I'm good. Let me reiterate, I thought the performances were fantastic. I thought some of the cinematography and the shot choices were fucking fantastic. If you're talking about the actual element of making a movie, so the acting, the visuals, things like that, spot on. You get that's where my 2 out of 5 comes from. The actual telling of the story and the story that was told, miss me. Not interested. It was not for me. It really wasn't. And that sucks, because this is one of my most anticipated films of the year. But I don't know what you think. If you disagree with what I had to say, let me know in the comments. Do you feel the same way? Let me know in the comments. Either way, jump in the comments, man. Let's have a conversation. Let's keep it respectful and whatnot. I know people like to become super fans and stuff. You know, if you feel differently, that's cool. If you act like a dick, I'm gonna delete your comment. Just understand that. So, you know, if you actually want to be heard and have a discussion with folks, let's do it. Let's have a good discussion and be chill with everybody about it. But other than that, man, please be sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I drop new content, and throw a like on this video, man. It means a lot. It helps with the algorithm, all that kind of stuff, and the comments do as well. So I appreciate you for that. If you haven't checked it out already, you can check out I got the All Along stuff I've been covering, my Penguin stuff I've been covering. You can check out The Franchise, which drops on the 6th. I got to go to an early screening of that, so I did an out-of-theater reaction for that. This weekend, I'm doing a weekend episode of the Blurred Breakdown since I wasn't able to this week. I've been on set too much in its screenings, so I wasn't able to do an episode during the week, and a lot of stuff popped off, you know, including... If y'all thought that Disney was the start and the end of the whole arbitration via ulterior means, Uber is now doing that, where a woman got in a couple got in a terrible accident. Their Uber driver T-boned somebody, and they had to have multiple surgeries. And when they went to go try and sue Uber for the negligence of their you know, contract or their employee, turns out by signing up for Uber Eats, you also sign up for arbitration. I'll break it all down for you this weekend. I can't believe that this is the new norm for companies. Check all that out. Check out Capes and Cows. I know that I'm going to have a full discussion, or I already did at this point by the time I put this out, knowing when I probably will. You go and rewatch the Capes and Cows then. I'm sure we're going to have a full spoiler discussion as well on Monday. I'll check with Christian on that one. Check me out on Game Time with Roca over on the Game Time channel. Spill the Tequila. Lots of stuff going on, man. And then, of course, right here, a lot of good stuff coming out. So with that, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. You can check out one of the other videos that's going to pop up right here in just a moment. And I'll see you on the next one, fam. Peace.